Jonathan, how you doing? Welcome to the Halo 1 Minicast.
Whoa, this is the second mini cast, right?
It is, and I think we're going to do a lot more of them because they are a lot easier to make.
Yeah, they are a lot easier to make, but I do really like doing the really long ones. They're fun.
Oh yeah, I feel like we get so in the weeds on those that it just becomes its own thing. But this
Yeah.
one, we're talking about Halo Combat Evolved. So you saw on our YouTube channel, we uploaded a video that was me and Jonathan playing through Halo 1 Anniversary. It was my first time playing the game. Jonathan, was it your second, third time going through it?
This is my third time.
And when was the first time you played that game?
Like 2020 or something like that. I
Oh,
I did not. I grew up on Halo 3, and Reach and ODST, and those three were my introduction to Halo. Actually, you know what? That's not entirely true. I did play, I think, halfway through Halo Combat Evolved when the Anniversary Edition came out on 360. Do you remember that?
yeah, that's the version we played. What was that, 2010, 2011?
Yeah, it was I think right after Halo Reach, but before Halo 4 or something like that.
That sounds
Or maybe,
right.
Yeah, something like that. And I remember I was like, a new Halo that I never played, I'm gonna play it. I played it, and then I was too young, so it was all lost on me. I missed assassinations, or I don't know.
Yeah. No, what? My one touchstone for Halo 1 Anniversary is that the logo and like the box art and everything was black and white.
Yeah,
And so I thought the game was in black and white, and I was like, I'm not playing that.
that's insane.
I don't know. I was a child. I didn't get
Yeah,
it.
it had the black and white cover, and then but his visor was like golden.
Right. And
Yeah.
to be honest, that's pretty cool title treatment if I do say
It
so
is
myself.
cool, and I'm really upset that I sold it. I sold that copy because I was like, I didn't like this game that much. I'm not really gonna play
Oh.
it, and I sold it when I was like 13 because it just didn't interest me.
I didn't even realize they made a physical copy of that game. I thought it was
Oh,
a
yeah.
download game.
Well, I mean, back 10 years ago, yeah.
So then Halo 2 Anniversary. When
I
did
think it
I
was
don't
the same
even
deal.
It was the same day. It came out at the same time.
No. It's the same deal. So, Halo. Well, actually, let me let you finish your question because I might be answering a question that you're not even asking. What
I
was
just
your
want to. I don't have any memory of Halo 2 Anniversary coming out at all. I didn't even know that was a thing until I downloaded the Master Chief Collection to play Halo 1, and I saw it said Halo 2 Anniversary, and I was like, oh, they remade Halo 2 as well.
Yeah, so Halo 2 Anniversary, I believe, came out very close to Halo 5 before it. So Halo 5, the plot is like, because they were trying to tie it in, because they were bringing back this character from Halo 2 for Halo 5 for some reason. And they remade Halo 2 essentially, not remade it, remastered it with like these modern graphics and absolutely gorgeous cutscenes, in my opinion, that we're going to see very, very soon. Me and Jake are going to start that playthrough very soon. And they actually added like a brand new cutscene in the very beginning of like this character from Halo 5 talking to this character from Halo 2, and getting like some background on some things to like tie them in. Basically, it was almost like a promotion for Halo 5 in a way. Yeah.
I'm looking it up, and it came out. It came out on the same day as the Master Chief Collection, so it was like a big like. Halo's on Xbox One now, all in one place, and look at this remaster of Halo 2, and coming soon, Halo 5.
Oh, interesting. I thought the Master Chief Collection was recent. I didn't know it was.
No, the Master Chief Collection, I remember, because it came out on my birthday in 2014, and I thought about asking for it, but I didn't have an Xbox One, so.
But it didn't start with all the games, right? I think it just started with like the trilogy or something.
Yeah, I think it had 1, 2, 3. I don't even think it had ODST, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because I think the original intention was that it was the Master Chief Collection, so it was just all the games with Chief in it. ODST and Reach don't have Chief, obviously. And then 4, I don't know.
Well, 4 was still new at that point, kind of.
4 was still new.
It wasn't
I'm
new,
excited
I
for
guess,
4
but,
as well.
Yeah, I am too. That's the one I played back in the day. But enough about all those ones. We're talking about Halo 1 today. So, for my first time playing it, your third time playing through it, I thought that it was excellent, even from a modern lens. Look, like, I appreciate what it did back in the day, but even as if I got this game like right now on sale on Steam or whatever, and I had no idea that it was an old game, I'd be like, all right, it feels a little weird, but I really enjoyed it. But knowing what what the history was and what it did for first-person shooters on Xbox or console and everything, I really appreciated this game and really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was not expecting to enjoy it that much this time around because I'm playing Halo 1 through the lens of someone who has habitually played through all the later Halo games, which respectfully have done everything that it has done better, and more grandiose. Wow,
Grandiose.
that's brutal, dude. I might as well just stop recording and just turn the fucking thing off. That was bad. Yeah, that word. I feel like all the later games have just developed on it. So going back to it, or just experiencing it for the first time, I played it. I was like, ugh, I don't know about this. Like, it was fun, but I think it does have a lot of aged qualities that I think you'll probably realize like retroactively once we play through the later ones. But this time I'm playing through it, I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed it much more than the first two times.
Yeah, and we played on Heroic, which I think was a good call because I feel like most of that game is just monster closets and just hallways. So just wiping out all the enemies without any challenge probably would have brought it down. But I think and having it too challenging would have just made it miserable. I'm comparing it to games that I've played from growing up, like single player first-person shooters or co-op shooters, like Halo Reach. But I'm thinking more like Wolfenstein and BioShock and things like that. Obviously, those are very different, but that's like my experience with a shooter campaign, right. And I think comparing it to those definitely it stands toe to toe in the way that you have so many enemies to kill in Halo that I would like. I in the other games I was talking about, you have a lot of enemies, but it'll be like a couple encounters here and there where there's like 10, 15 enemies. You're going through Halo, and some of those levels, I swear to God, we must have killed like 500 elites and grunts, and it was crazy.
Yeah, they're stacked. They're stacked.
But it's like, Halo shooting, it's still around because Halo shooting is its own thing and it's really fun to do. So the fact that we just get to do it for hours, I was entertained the entire time.
Yeah, I think, see, that's the thing. It's really difficult to talk about Halo Combat Evolved without talking about the rest of the games because that's all I really want to get to. I just want to get to the real meat. This was like the soup before the meal, I just had a great side of chowder and now I'm ready for my big old burger.
Dude, I love chowder.
Yeah, dude. You mean the show?
I meant both, but yeah, I love
the show's good too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about anything but the game, I guess. Yeah. Oh man. No, but that's literally how I feel about it. I'm like, all right, this is just the precursor to the rest of the games. It's an amazing little chowder that I had before my main burger,
That's got me very excited for the rest of the games because I'm already so high on this one. And I'm gonna be honest, I was actually trying to pay attention to the story along the way, and I did do some digging into the lore afterwards because we didn't see every like bonus cutscene or whatever. Right. And I understand why people are into the Halo lore. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not like super sold on it, but just as a silly little like sci-fi action movie, I was gripped, I would say, enough.
Yeah, the thing about Halo lore is that it's, I would say, just all over the place. Like, there's a lot of core concepts and ideas that they really stick to, but when it, like, comes down to it, a lot of those things are kind of either ignored or forgotten, or are just not actually that important once you start playing the game. So that's why I said this during our playthrough, but what interests me about the Halo games is not necessarily like the story that the actual games tell or the lore that all the peripherals have, the
Master Chief in the books be like.
Master Chief in the books be like, which I don't even think that's true. I think that's just a meme. I don't know if that's true, but what really interests me, back to my main point, what really interests me about the Halo series is really the setting. Like, I just like the characters and the places and the factions and stuff. That's the thing I like about the most, and I feel like a lot of it just kind of like is just okay once you start putting it into practice. But on paper, I'm like, whoa, this is fucking whoa,
Yeah, no, I'm definitely also intrigued by that. So I think we've talked about this a million times, but just in case this is your first touchstone for us as a podcast, I have only really played Reach and paid attention to it, and that's a prequel. So my perception of the Covenant or the UNSC or any of the other factions in Halo is only from that game.
Right.
So now seeing it from a different perspective, first off, the aliens are speaking English, so that's different. But
Yeah.
then also like seeing how, because I think they kind of paint the UNSC as like a gray area in Reach, right? In this one, they're just like, we're the good guys. We're out there for good to destroy the Halos. I'm like, yeah, I enjoy this for what it is.
Yeah, that's you're gonna see it, but in Halo 2, that's kind of like how should I word this actually?
No
Halo
future spoilers,
Reach-
please.
No future spoilers, but Halo Reach. That's why I didn't know how to word this. Halo Reach. This is the third time of me saying that. Is kind of like it's a basic story because it's before everything happens. Halo Combat Evolved takes place directly after Halo Reach, and we already know what happens in Reach. That's like 3-4 games mention and speak about how Reach was this human civilization.
The fall
and
of
it-
Reach.
The fall of Reach. And it was destroyed with the Covenant. We already know what's gonna happen. We're just playing through it, and we're just experiencing this kind of like sadder story that doesn't have any. It has Reach, the UNSC, and then the Covenant, and that's it. Those are the only two. Those are the two opposing forces, and one wants to destroy the planet. One wants to not have that happen. That's it. But we know it's gonna happen. So really, there's not a lot of like, whoa, this is happening. We're just kind of seeing things happen as it goes. Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2 is where the plot really happens. Halo 2 is when things get succulent. There's going to be more factions. There's going to be revelations. There's going to be twists. There's going to be turns. A lot of shit is going to happen. And I think this game is probably, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it now. Okay.
I got two things I want to talk about right now that you just inspired me about.
Okay.
One of them is gonna probably make you mad, and the other one is probably gonna make you very happy. Which one do you want first?
Give me the one that'll make me mad, I guess.
Okay, so I'm sensing a theme with myself in that the only Halo game that I had ever played was Reach, and I loved it. I didn't actually know what was gonna happen, but I eventually found out about the fall of Reach and everything, so the ending was spoiled for me, and I loved it. The only Star Wars movie that I'd ever seen was Rogue One, I loved it, and I loved it. So maybe I just have a weird thing where I'm like, I like to know how something's going to end so I can see how it happens. I don't know.
I mean, I do think stories like that are very appealing. Stories where you know how it's going to end, yet they still tell an engaging and like gripping narrative. Despite that fact, is very impressive. There's something very magnetic about those types of stories, I think, and I don't really know why, but I think I'll absolutely think that you're gonna enjoy Halo Reach, probably just as much as you did when you first played it. But I think these games are gonna open up your eyes to how much of a grander scale things used to be for the Halo franchise. And this is not like, I'm just gonna go on a little tangent here because it's not like me trashing Halo at all. But the original trilogy had a very large scale. There's a very concise story that they were trying to tell, and it concluded at 3. And then once they finished 3, they made ODST, which is my personal favorite. But that's just like another kind of Rogue One situation, sort of. This side cast of characters that is adjacent to the main plot. And then they released Halo Reach, which kind of was like the same thing. And then Halo 4 was supposed to be the beginning of like the new trilogy. And you can really tell that like a part of like the original run of Halo ended at 3, and now this is like the new Halo afterwards. And I think you'll probably just see that as we play it. Like there's a big tonal shift because I feel like the story was told, the big story was told, and they just haven't matched it.
Well, and so stop me if I'm wrong. You might not even know. Didn't they only make Reach because Bungie was contracted for like 4 major games, and then and then they were going to switch over to 343? But they were like, well, we don't want to do a Halo 4, so we're going to do a prequel. I don't know. That's what I heard back in the day. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. That I wouldn't be surprised if that's true, but then I wouldn't really understand why Halo ODST is a thing then.
Well, maybe they, maybe they found an opportunity to make money or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
my whole thing is like, I know that, I think the reason there is that big shift is because they were like, we told our story, we're good, and then
Yeah.
343 picked it up, and well, I don't think everyone really enjoys their creative decisions all the time.
No, 343 is, it's split. But I think the big opinion about Halo was that people still really, really enjoyed it, even after the original trilogy ended. But the actual stories themselves went from, huge, gigantic plot moments and just, crazy shit happening to more intimate stories. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's not good. It's not like a bad decision. It's not like a better decision. I don't think they're better or worse in any way. I think they're completely on par. But you'll see that it's a very different way of Halo, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the thing that's going to make you really happy is that, let me tell you, I, if I can go back in time and go into my brain and erase something from my memory, it would be the spoiler about the Flood appearing in the jail in Halo Combat
yes.
Evolved, because I've seen the videos of people reacting to it the first time. I think we made a bit about it in the video about like top 10 crazy moments in games, and it's like always one or like on the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
That moment still hit so hard for me, even knowing it was coming. I can't imagine how crazy it would have been if I didn't know that was coming.
Yeah, it's kind of like spoiler Aerith's death in Final Fantasy. Like we all know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean,
you know
that, and then you know about the Flood, and then it's just one of those things.
But when she dies, you're still like, oh man, that really sucks. But imagine being in that time on like the month that the game released, and you're playing it, and you're like, what? What?
Yeah, I can't believe that. Or like, so whenever you played Halo for the first time, I assume you already knew as well.
Yeah. Well, the Flood are in 3, so.
Yeah, but like, it's not necessarily the fact that they exist. It's the fact that like you go into this level and then everything just stops. It's just silent for what seems to be like 10 minutes. You see all these dead aliens lying around, and then you get to this area, and these enemies you've never seen before that no one's talked about just show up out of nowhere. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think it's a bold narrative move for the shooting game to just be like, you're done. You're done for 10 minutes. Take a fucking breather. And then you get lost because the entire jail segment is completely fucking obtuse, and I don't know where I'm going. But you know what? It's like you know what it's like for me. It was like huge Ganondorf stan over here. It's like me going back to A Link to the Past and being like, oh, okay, this is where Ganondorf, like, this is the beginning of him. I see. It's like seeing like the beginning of this guy that you've known for a very, very long time. You're seeing his origins. It's still very, very cool. But I already knew he was around for a very long time,
Yeah, that makes sense. And I really appreciated that, because I also knew about the Flood, but I honestly had no idea what they even looked like. The only reason I really knew what the Flood is because they call their infection mode Flood in Halo.
Oh,
so like in the later ones, I like heard that word and I was like, that's a weird word. So I looked it up and then I found out.
See, the Flood, I really do like the Flood, and it's like one of those zombie things that doesn't bother me, because I feel like a lot of zombie type enemies or a zombie type faction, a parasite thing, is so popular in every kind of media, and I feel like a lot of the times it can be very like, it falls flat. But I really, really like the Flood, and I also like, they get characterized in the later games, and it's fascinating. And going back to Halo Combat Evolved, you're like, oh, these are just zombies, but then you play the later games and they get like actual character development, and you're like, what the fuck? Huh?
Yeah, that's funny. I'm excited to see that. But I mean, if you look at Halo 1 as like a time capsule, not that zombies weren't popular back then, but honestly, that's probably the first major zombie shooter on console, if I'm not mistaken. It's certainly the first like sci-fi zombie shooter.
Yeah, well, that was before the zombie craze. When The Walking Dead came out and zombies were fucking everywhere. Halo kind of beat it to the punch, and they're also, otherworldly, like eldritch type like infection. So
Yeah.
they have a lot of aspects of quality, I think, that put them over even modern takes of zombie media, but they also were way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're going to wrap up this mini cast, because we've only played the first one so far. Jonathan can go all day comparing it to the other games, but I will have no idea what he's talking about. And
yeah, there's just, I don't have much to say about it, you know? What
no,
is
that's
there,
fine.
you know? Well, actually, let's not cut it off too early. What's your favorite part about the game? What's your least favorite part about the game? Or
Okay.
did you say that with the jail section?
I think actually this is something I was gonna bring up at the end, and I'm glad this is a seamless transition. We always have the same brain.
Yeah.
So I want to start ranking all the Halo games as we play them based on, what we think is the best one, and go in order.
Oh,
that
I
way at
wonder
the
what this
end,
one's at.
well, but then at the end of the series, we'll have this ranking that hopefully definitively decides what our general consensus is, or maybe we'll end up having two separate rankings if they get really different. Who cares?
Right.
But one thing I do want to do separately is I also want to rank the set piece moments of each game, because I feel like that's going to be a big thing. And for me, I don't know if you would say, do you think that the flood moment is the big set piece of Halo 1, or would you say that the grand finale is probably the big moment of this game?
Oh man.
Because for me, that grand finale of escaping the Pillar of Autumn and then trying to get off the planet, that might be one of the best moments I've had in a multiplayer game ever.
Oh dude, I can't even. Oh man, I actually can't answer this, but I'll try to give as straightforward answer as I can. I think that it is the flood reveal. I think that is the set piece moment for Halo Combat Evolved, because the finale is amazing. It's one of my favorite parts of the game, but there's another finale that not only outdoes it, but it is probably the best part of the entire series. Of all 7 games, it's probably the best part of the entire series. And I will not reveal when that is, but we'll get to it.
So yeah, I think I can be persuaded that the flood moment is, because let's be honest, if I didn't know that was coming, that would have been crazy. So
yeah.
We're gonna say that that's the big moment from this game. So for now, we're gonna rank Halo at number 1, and we're gonna rank the flood as number 1 set piece moment.
And I only say that because no, I'm sorry, just real fast. I only say that because, not to say that the finale isn't good, but the flood reveal is something unique to Combat Evolved, that is its thing that it did that no other Halo did. So that's why it's my set piece moment decision for it, just for uniqueness,
Yeah, I think I definitely understand that, and I'm the reason I was putting the other thing above it is just because I really enjoyed it. But then looking back on it, we did just kind of drive through a bunch of obstacles, and it was with cool music, so that made me feel cool.
But, and then I died at the end, and you ran.
But yeah, the flood is definitely more influential, at least. So we're gonna put that at number 1. My least favorite part of the game is actually not the library, which I know is your least favorite part of the game.
Yeah.
My least favorite part of the game is just the way, honestly, the gameplay itself, I don't feel was paced very well, which I think is obvious. But the main way it showed it to me was in the weapon variety. There's only 7 guns in this game, and you get them so slowly that you spend most of that game with an assault rifle, pistol, and plasma pistol, and that's it.
Yeah, dude, almost every clip of that, because we died so frequently, almost every clip in that Halo video, we had a plasma pistol. We either had a plasma pistol in hand or on our side or something like that, because we kept on dying, and for some reason, I have no clue why they did this. No other Halo game does this. When you die, you respawn with the basic loadout. The basic loadout is a single plasma pistol. What?
Yeah.
What?
So yeah, I did not enjoy the fact that there was no guns, and whenever you did get one, you got to use it for about 2 minutes, and then you had to go back to your regular gun. I did not enjoy that very much.
Oh, you started with an assault rifle too, not just a plasma pistol. But still, but your sidearm, if your sidearm throughout the entire game was the pistol every time you restarted, I feel like that'd be much more enjoyable, because the pistol is so much fun to use.
I love the Magnum. Magnum is my favorite Halo gun. I guess besides the BR, but everyone loves the
Yeah,
BR, so that doesn't
the
count.
BR is pretty fun.
What was your least favorite part before we get out of here?
My least favorite part actually was not the library. For this playthrough, I actually kind of enjoyed the library because it was just like there was no there was nothing diluting it. It was just like, okay, go here, fight, go here, fight. And I was just like, okay. My actual
You're
least
just kind of
favorite
zoned
part,
out.
yeah, I just kind of zoned out into like a zen-like state. And I was with you, and we were just talking, so it wasn't really a big deal. The part that I actually did not like, I was like, oh my fucking god, I can't wait for this to be over, that's the snow level. The second time we went through the snow level, I don't know if you remember it. It's like the longest level in the game. And we had to backtrack through it. We went through it like the first half of the game, and then we had to backtrack through it with the flood on the second half. And I was like, oh my god, this is so long. And I kept on having to, like, I couldn't zone out or just kind of like, just shoot things and just be like, ugh, because I was like, where the fuck do I have to go? So I
Yeah, that one was hard to find our way as well.
It was difficult, and then you had to get in the Banshee and like fly up, which was fun, but there was just, it was too big. It was actually too big.
It was.
I never thought I would say that about a Halo map, but it was too fucking big.
Just wait till I get to Infinite, baby.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's been our Halo Combat Evolved minicast. Let us know in the comments what you think of Halo Combat Evolved, and if you want us to keep playing Halo. I mean, we're pretty much going to do it anyway, but at least it'd be nice to see if you're enjoying this so far.
Yeah.
So, until next time, we will see ya.
See ya.